How's it going, y'all? Welcome to the stream. Uh, Tonight's gonna be the all stream talk. Obviously, we got Russell in here already. Uh, what's up, everyone? Smash the like button. Yes, thank you, appreciate that. Um, so yeah, the stream's gonna be a Scream stream. Basically, I'll talk about the Scream. That's it. Um, so yeah, obviously we already got one person in here, so let's add mouse pass. Um, 1 minute here. So yeah, I have not heard any news. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. Um, we haven't heard any news yet. Um, Obviously on Scream 7 because they haven't started filming yet, and that's why I was saying that I don't think we're gonna get it until um, I don't think we're gonna get it until 2025. Personally, that's just what I think. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. But I don't think we're gonna get it until 2025 because it just makes the most sense. And plus, if they haven't started filming yet, too, I just don't. I mean, that kind of shows me that there is gonna be another another year, so another couple years. Probably won't get it until 2025, but they'll probably start filming it in 2024. There's rumors going around Sydney versus Sam. That's what I heard too. I think I watched. I think I saw Craven's video. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw that his video said um, Sydney versus Sam, and I was like, "What?" I was like, I didn't get a chance to watch it because I got a little busy, but um, yeah. So I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, I don't know how you feel about it. Man, I kind of like it because I kind of, I don't know if this means that Sam's gonna be like a killer. It kind of seems like it. It kind of seems like he's they're trying to make her the killer. If that's the case. But of course, it's just a rumor, so we don't know 100%. Yeah, he was talking about it, and Jake was too honest. Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw like Craven's video. I just didn't get a chance to watch it, and I saw his title it said Scream, or it said Sydney versus Sam or whatever, and Scream 7. So I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch his video, but hopefully I could watch it maybe later. I just been pretty busy. Um, but yeah, if that's true, then that more than likely means that Sam's gonna be a killer. That's what it seems like. It could be interesting if it does happen. I'd be down for it. Yeah, I mean, I was saying that there's a possibility that Sam could be like a killer. I didn't say. I said that I think it makes more sense. If Sam's the killer over Sydney, because Sydney as a killer just it wouldn't look right because she's a final girl. So it makes a lot more sense to me a lot more sense if they made Sam the killer. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. A lot of people don't really like it just because she's basically like a final girl, somewhat, and she kind of is. But I guess I really wouldn't mind it. You know, I would prefer her to be the killer over Sydney because Sydney's like the final girl. You know, and I don't think Sam being the killer, I wouldn't mind that because Sam's not really. I mean, she's a final girl, but um, Sydney's been in the movies a lot longer, so you know, the Sydney character's been in the film since 1996. So it's kind of hard for me to see her be the killer over Sam. It just wouldn't really make sense. And Melissa might be a killer since Jenna Ortega might be written out of Scream 7. Oh, wow. Yeah, I actually heard that too. I heard that Jenna Ortega might be written out. I haven't read anything else about it, but I did hear that. And what is it because Jenna Ortega is busy doing other stuff, or is it just because they just are writing her out? I mean, that's a very interesting. Very interesting. Because if that's the case, well, there's a possibility then that Sam could be, that Sam could be a killer because they basically don't have. Now, I'm not saying 100% because we all want that, Stu return. But what if it turns out she's actually like working with Stu or something? That would be pretty interesting. But yeah, I actually saw that on a article. It said that Jenna Ortega might be written out of Scream 7. Now I'm not 100% sure if it's just Jenna Ortega not wanting to come back, or if it's just because, or if they just want to move off of her, and just start a whole new thing. But that's pretty interesting. She's busy doing Beetlejuice 2 Wednesday season 2, but we don't know when this strike is ending. Oh yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. She's probably like busy doing other stuff. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I could understand that. But yeah, I definitely think. I mean, if that's true, which of course we don't really know if that's true or not. If it is true, well, maybe there is more of a possibility for Sam to be the killer. Who really knows? It's going to be pretty interesting. And I was also saying too, like, if what's to say that somehow like Stu does come back and Stu's like involved or something? What if somehow Sam somehow is like secretly working with them? Like, that would be kind of crazy. Because I really want that Stu return. I really hope we get it in this film, because if we don't, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say. I mean, a lot of people say that he could return still after this, but I personally, I mean, I don't really think he can't. I mean, he can most definitely, probably in the like Scream 9, 10 even, but I just don't. I think this is like the best time to do it. I think this is the best time to do it. They need to bring Stu and Sydney back for the screen because it's yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm not saying that it can't happen. Well, I don't think it can happen after this because I think this is the best film to do it. Because if this is going to be Sydney's last film, right? If Neve Campbell is not going to, obviously this could be her last film, right? So why would you bring Stu back in the future without Sydney? You know what I mean? So it's just better to do it now because this will be her last film. I know 100% this will be her last film. So, and to me, you got to have Sydney involved with him because it makes the most sense. It makes the most sense. If they would have had like, let's say like Sam or something like that, him and Sam, him going after Sam and all that, that wouldn't make any sense. It makes more sense for him to go after, Sydney because him and Sydney obviously had, they went to school together and it's more like personal, so it makes a lot more sense to me. But that's why I was saying, like, I don't think that he could come back. I personally don't think he could come back without Sydney because I don't think it would make sense. So if they're going to do it, they need to do it now in this film because it only makes sense, to do it now other than, rather than later. And again, you don't have Sydney. Well, what's the point, really? I mean, you're basically, he's just going to go after Sam. I mean, it doesn't really make too much sense to me anyway. Some people say that he could come back still without Sydney, but to me, I don't think so. I don't think he can. It only makes sense for him and Sydney to, for Sydney to be, if Sydney was the one to kill him, that would be like the best ending, I think. Neve Campbell should be in the future Scream movies, but may not be Sidney Prescott anymore. Oh, so you're talking about like maybe she may be some kind of like background character, just not under Sidney Prescott? Like, is that what you're basically saying? Because that would be pretty interesting. That would be pretty interesting. They kind of did that with Stu as well. Well, Matthew Lillard, he was in Scream 2 and the party scene. And he was basically just a background character. So he was in the film as a background character. So that was pretty interesting, So I don't know if that's what you mean. Like if she's just gonna be in the movie and just be under a new character, like that could be pretty interesting. But yeah, man, it's really, it's kind of, I don't know. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity at this point. If you don't bring Stu back in this film with Sydney, then I don't really see the point. Really bringing him, I don't really see the point of bringing him back or bringing. I don't see the point of bringing him back. Is what I'm saying. Because if you don't have Sydney, it's got to be, you got to have Sydney involved, one way or another. You can't just have him return without her, it just doesn't make any sense. She might be another character in the future game. The future spotlight, she could be a teacher. Oh wow, that could be that would be interesting. Maybe in the future too, she could maybe come in as like a cameo or something when she gets older or whatever. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really see her being a big part of these films no more after this. Under a different character, maybe, but I'm just talking about the Sydney character. But yeah, should be pretty interesting, I think. Um, Scream 7, obviously, I don't really know. We haven't got any news about it yet. So, I mean, we really don't know, like, we don't know anything about it yet, obviously, because they haven't started filming yet. All we know is that Radio Silence is not involved no more. And I was saying this from the beginning. Maybe Radio Silence isn't involved no more because, or maybe them stepping down kind of helps. The whole Stu coming, the Stu return even more. I mean, they may be even more open to it. So, I mean, I don't really know if Radio Silence was even. I don't even know if they were really thinking about it at all. Like, yeah, I don't see her being Sydney anymore unless this isn't the last one. Yeah, like what I'm saying is that I don't think that this is going to be. I think this may be the last film for a long time, but there is going to be more. But what I'm saying is that basically this film will be her last, under, well, for the Sydney character, anyways. Maybe I don't, like you said, she may come back as another character, as like a cameo or something. So, I mean, who really knows? Who really knows? I mean, it's possible. It would be pretty cool, pretty interesting to see. Um, yeah, Radio Silence has more projects too. Yeah, that's what I've heard. And I've heard that they who is the new directors that's making Scream 7? Um because I know Radio Silence stepped down. I know they stepped down, or something like that. So new director is Christopher Landon. Yes, yes. You know what movie company? Is this still Paramount or is it? Let's see. Also, Spyglass Media and Universal Pictures. Oh, okay. This says that Universal, so Spyglass Media Universal Pictures is expected to return as the film's distributor, despite the quick 15-month turnaround time between Scream and Scream 5 and Scream 6. There's no official update on the production of Scream 7, so yeah. But yeah, Universal Pictures and Spyglass Media Group, produced by Spyglass Media Group. So obviously they don't have any news yet about Scream 7. Obviously I already knew that. We haven't got anything because they haven't even started filming. But yeah, a lot of people. There's just a lot of rumors. A lot of rumors. About is Jill gonna come back? Is Charlie gonna come back? I mean, I don't think so. I personally don't think so, but who really knows, man? Like, I mean, if she does, I'll admit that I was wrong, but so. Oh wow! So there's this rumor right now circulating. Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on it, man. Like, I just don't think that she would survive. Honestly, those damn paddles. I just don't see how any person could survive that kind of thing. But I guess it is a movie, and I guess they say anything in the Scream franchise, anything is possible. So we've seen a lot of crazy stuff. So movies, there's a lot of franchises that do crazy shit. Sorry for my language, but so according to so there is a rumor. Yeah, you're right, Russell. You're right. Um, so there is a rumor about Sam Carpenter being the killer in Scream 7. And this article says that Sam will be Ghostface in Scream 7. One thing that Scream franchise has never done is have a final girl as the Ghostface killer. However, Sam's story is different. Yeah, it is a little different because obviously, Sydney didn't. Her and Sydney's stories are way different. Like, they're different. So, but yeah, this is very interesting. I wonder if this is just rumors or if this is real, because it would make a lot of sense if, like you said, if Tara's not in the movie, um, they're writing her off the film. So, I mean, that would make a lot of sense. But then again, though, like, would she be the one working with Stu if Stu does return? Like, well, they bring Sydney back and Jill is back. Maybe Jill is working with Stu. Well, maybe him, her, Charlie Walker, Angelina. Maybe they're all working together. Maybe they're all in like a cult together. Who really knows? Because I definitely think that if she does come back, that will be, yeah, she'll either be working with Stu. Yeah, they'll be all part of the Stu cult. That would be pretty interesting. Like, all the characters that you thought were dead, all of a sudden just came back, and they just were in like Stu's cult, working with him. But yeah, man, yeah, it's very, very interesting, you know. And I definitely think that Scream, like, I'm not saying that just because I don't think Jill's gonna come back doesn't mean I hate her necessarily, because I don't. I actually thought Jill Emma Roberts, you know, did a good job, you know, playing her. I'm just saying, like, I just don't really think because those paddles, if she were to survive those paddles, she'd be like brain dead right now. But again, this is the Scream, you know, this is Scream, so I mean, anything is possible. Um, honestly, a lot of movies are unrealistic. A lot of movies just don't have any creativity. So, hey, man, I guess I wouldn't be mad at it. I would admit that, you know, I will admit that I was wrong. You know, the whole time. I'll admit that. You know, I'll come on here and admit that I was wrong. But they're calling this the final showdown. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of basically like a trilogy then, somewhat, like somewhat like a trilogy. But I don't know. But a lot of people already say that Scream 4, Scream 5, and that people say that Scream 6 was basically a trilogy because another trilogy because Scream 5 was basically a follow up from Scream 4. And the story, you know, is still connected. So I like Jill more than Amber. Yeah, I didn't really care for Amber either. Like Amber's just Amber's one of those characters that are just kind of got annoying, you know. And Scream 5 as a whole just wasn't really. I mean, it just really wasn't a good film, you know. I definitely think Scream 4 is the last like great one that we got because Wes Craven, man, I don't know. Wes Craven, man, he had all that. He had the chase scenes, he had all the jump scares, all that, you know. And that's what when Radio Silence took over, all of a sudden they didn't. They were showing tribute to Wes Craven, but they didn't add that. They didn't add, you know, chase scenes or anything like that. Like then on top of that, you know, the whole Dewey death, you know, pissed me off. Just the way he died, like I didn't mind. Like again, I didn't mind that he died. I just didn't like the execution of his death. Could have been done better. But a lot of people say that, you know, that's what these new directors, you know, are trying to do. You know, they're trying to kill off, you know, the old. And that's something that Wes Craven would never, you know, he would have never done that. I don't think that he even had plans. I don't even think he had plans to kill the Dewey character off. I know I'm probably gonna get cancer for saying this. Yeah, I do too. Like Amber is just one of those characters, like I was saying, just seemed like annoying. She's really annoying, like, you know. She's just not. Now I don't know like how you feel, but take a guess. Take a guess who my favorite killer is. I want you to take a guess. Wes Craven made Scream great. Yeah, absolutely, he did. He made Scream great. Like he did, man. He added all the he's the one that came up with the concept. You know, and people, Radio Silence basically shit on his legacy, shit on him, for no reason. Like this, they could have been more creative with Scream 5. You're showing tribute to him. Like, why not? Why not do a little better? Like add chase scenes and whatnot. But hey, I guess it is what it is. Dewey would still be alive if Wes Craven was still around. Not Bash Raiders. I still don't know how Chris Redman is going to do. Exactly. I think that the Dewey character would have stayed alive. He would have been still alive. Like, they wouldn't have, Wes Craven never had plans to kill him off. Never. Like, and nor I don't think he would. I don't even think he would never even. I don't even think he would, to be honest with you. Especially in that manner, the way they did, that was dirty in my opinion. I mean, come on. Do you really think a character like Dewey is going to? In Scream 3, he shoots Roman in the head, right? Sidney was telling him, no, you have to shoot him in the head, right? But who really cares? He should have known. Realistically, he should have really known. He should have known to shoot him in the head when he had a chance. Like he's been through that so many times. So that didn't really make any sense. And then the fact that he decided to all of a sudden he gets in he shoots the killer. He starts walking them to the, walking Sam and them to the elevator. They get into the elevator and then he turns around and then realizes you got to shoot him in the head. Like, no. He shot Roman in the head in Scream 3. I mean, he's not going to just forget that. Like, I mean, come on now. He's just not going to forget that from Scream 3. I know your favorite killer is Roman. Yes. Yep. Like, I like Billy. I definitely like Billy. I think Billy's like probably the best in Stu. But I think Roman's like one of the, I think Roman is the most underrated killer. And just because a lot of people didn't like him as a killer, just because, the whole backstory of him and Sidney, and people were saying he was basically like a crybaby and all that. And a lot of people just didn't like that at all. And another reason too is because Roman didn't interact with Sidney in the film. And a lot of people had a problem with that. For some reason, a lot of people had a problem with that. So to me, it made more sense. It made a lot more sense to wait until the end. Because if it's a brother that she doesn't know. Well, how in the hell, like, why are they gonna interact with each other in the middle of the movie? Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. So to me, it made a lot more sense for them to wait until the very end, because the end, when he unmasks or whatever, it gets like really personal, and they start fighting each other, and she doesn't even know about him or anything like that. I don't think. Like, so I mean, it makes it more personal. Or maybe she did know, but she didn't know who it was. But I have no idea. But regardless, even if she did know and she didn't know, I mean, still, it made a lot more sense. Wait to the end. To me, anyways. Yes, Roman. Yes, Dewey shot Roman. Yes. Yep. And I just don't think that Dewey's just gonna forget that. Like, I don't think he's gonna forget. People say, well, Scream 2, he stepped on the pizza and all that, so it fits his character, and he got distracted by pizza. Yeah, but at the same time, to me, he shot Roman in the head. He's not gonna. To me, he's not gonna forget that. Like, that's just my opinion, though. And nothing against nothing against Radio Silence or anything like that, but I just feel like Radio Silence did him dirty. That's just my personal take. You know, they could have approached him a little better, I guess, because I heard there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes where they didn't really say much about killing the character. They didn't really talk to him about it really. That they just basically just went out of the way and basically did it. That's what I heard. I'm not 100%. Of course, it's just a rumor. So I don't really know if he was down with that, or I don't know. But that was dirty, and they didn't approach him in the right way, and that's what I feel like, anyways. Maybe he was ready to leave Scream. I don't know. I mean, I heard a lot of reports. A lot of people were saying that Radio Silence didn't really approach him in the right way, in the right manner. They're basically selfish, and they just decided to kill his character. Um, I don't really know what's true or not. I don't know if it's true, but it seemed like they just wanted to kill the character off. To me, anyways. And it's like they didn't ask, David Arquette's input or anything like that. Like, that's what I heard, anyways. Of course, I'm not going to judge, people, because I'm not going to judge them because I don't know 100% like what happened, but maybe David Arquette just didn't want to be a part of the Scream movies no more. Who really knows? But even if that was the case, the execution of his death was still dirty to me. So yeah, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to get too far off topic here, but I don't know what it is, but I think personally, this is what I think. I think that Hollywood, wants to kill certain characters off in like franchises. Let's say like Star Wars. I'm not trying to get too much off topic. I'm not, and a lot of people were saying that I was comparing Star Wars and Scream. Somebody in my comments before one of my videos was telling me that I was comparing the two. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just, I'm just kind of just getting a point. I'm trying to make an example. So Star Wars, right? The Star Wars franchise. Han Solo gets killed off or whatever. Well, a lot of people say that, Hollywood just wanted to kill him off because he was an old character, and I truly believe that, and they killed Kylo Ren off, and then they brought back the Emperor and all that. Like, that was just absolute dumb. I think that was just for fan service. But yeah, I think Hollywood sometimes they just want to kill the old off, and they just want to kill the old off so they can bring on new characters, people don't really care about. And that's what I think, anyways. I don't know if you feel like that, but might have been just rumors. I don't know the actual story, but Scream has to go on, right? And why would Star Wars be Scream? Well, somebody was saying that I was trying to compare because I was bringing up Star Wars. Somebody was saying that I was trying to compare like Scream and Star Wars, but that wasn't the case. Like, and I was actually talking about the Emperor's Return and all that, saying that because a lot of people are saying, because I thought that was for fan service, and a lot of people were saying, the Luke Skywalker, he came back, and I was talking about the whole Stu return, and people were saying that was going to be for fan service. So I wasn't comparing the two. I'm just making an example because they're kind of similar in a way. Like, I'm not saying that Scream is similar to Star Wars because it's totally different. I'm just saying that the returns are kind of like the same. They're like viewed the same. Like, the Emperor's Return was for fan service to me. A lot of people think that Stu's return is going to be the same. That's all I was saying. And and then they said they were trying to say I was comparing somebody, like I was saying, he said that I was trying to compare Star Wars and Scream. That I clearly wasn't. Like, that's crazy. I don't think you're comparing the two at all. Yeah, no, I'm just kind of making like an example, like, at the Emperor's Return, we're saying that if Luke Skywalker could return, can't Stu return? Absolutely. Because Luke Skywalker just showed up. That's basically all I was saying. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, that's just the way I see it. Like, a lot of people, and like I was saying, I'm not trying to get off topic and I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just saying, The Emperor's Return and all that, the way Han Solo died, it just seemed like they just wanted to move off of the old, you know. And then they end up killing Kylo Ren off or whatever. The Emperor ended up killing him. So it's kind of similar to the Dewey death in a lot of ways. Like it seemed like they were being greedy and they just decided to kill the old character. Like, so yeah. But yeah, a lot of people were saying that. And look, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe regardless of what happened, at least Scream continues, like he said. You know, at least it continues. We're gonna get more. And that's all I really. That's really all I care about. That we're gonna get more films. We're gonna see more. Because even after Scream 7, I don't even think that Scream 7 is going to be the last. Personally, I don't think Scream 7 is going to be the last. I don't think Scream 7 is going to be the last. I think there's going to be more, at least a couple more, and in the future, 5 years down the line, like after Scream 7's release. Like, I don't think. I personally, it would just be hard for me to believe. It'd be hard. I don't know. I just don't think that they're gonna quit just making the films after. I mean, eventually they probably will. I'm looking forward to Scream. Yeah, I am too. I mean, I think there's gonna be more after Scream 7. There's got to be some kind of continuation under like a new timeline though. But that's personally what I think. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's personally what I believe. There's a lot of people that don't think that there's going to be future films like after. And I think there is. I think there's going to at least be like two more, at least two more, at the most. After Scream 7, my favorite is Scream 1996, 3, 4, and I enjoy Scream 6. Yeah. So my rankings is Scream 1996, Scream 3, Scream 2, and Scream 2 is a great film. I like it, of course, but I just enjoy 3 more for some reason. I don't know why. It's just Scream 3, I just find it more enjoyable. Um, and then Scream 4, and then Scream 5, or no, then Scream 6, and then Scream 5. So Scream 5 is still, still my last, still at the bottom of my rankings for a lot of the reasons that as I was just talking about, just no chasings, just no creativeness, bad character development. I felt like Scream 6 was definitely a step up, even though Scream 6 wasn't a great film. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was perfect. Of course, it wasn't perfect, but definitely better than Scream 5. Definitely a step up. I enjoy them all, but 5 is my least favorite. Yeah, I don't know. It's just hard to rewatch. It's just hard to rewatch. You know, like I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just hard to rewatch. Like compared to the other four films, Wes Craven's films, it's not as rewatchable as those four. Like the other four films, I could just watch anytime. Like if I feel like it, I just put it in and watch it. You know. Well, Scream Five is just like I don't know. Like it's just really not as rewatchable. You know. Of course, if I do a Scream marathon, I have to watch it. But I'm just saying, like I'd rather watch Wes Craven's film. Like I'm more into Wes Craven's, Scream films than Scream Five. You know, so I'll put in Scream 3 right now or something like. If I feel, like Radio Silence. I'm nothing against them. I just didn't like Scream 5. Like it is definitely my least favorite still. It's just hard to rewatch. Wes Craven's films, though, they're very rewatchable. I can watch those over and over and over, no problem. It's the Dewey death that really got me. I'm surprised Randy's death didn't get me in part two. But Dewey's death really hit me. Yeah, both of them were really shocking. I think Randy's death it was really shocking. Um, but yeah, I think the Dewey death hit me a lot more too. I think it was just because he was one of the OGs, and he's in all four of the films. And they just decided to kill him off. And it was kind of surprising to me. Oh, I wouldn't say surprising. I mean, I kind of knew going in that he was gonna get killed off because he supposedly did some kind of commercial. He did some kind of commercial with him and Stu's house or whatever. And right then and there, I kind of knew that was basically his goodbye tour. I kind of knew. I just knew, you know. But the Randy death, I don't know why I wasn't really surprised by that. I mean, I kind of was because it was just out of the blue, but because you would have expected him to be at least in a few more films. So that was a bit shocking, but yeah, the Dewey death definitely hit me a lot more for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, now Scream always surprises us with some deaths I'm concerned about. Yeah, exactly. And that I hope they don't like kill Sydney off or anything dumb like that. Just don't. We don't need to bring her back just to kill her off. This is. I'm not gonna forgive these guys. These new directors. I'm not gonna forgive them if they decided to do that. I wouldn't be shocked if Gail died because I've been saying that I think that she will die in Scream 7. She almost got killed in Scream 6, but I think she'll die in the next one. It just makes the most sense. But like, why in the world would they decided to kill Sydney off or something in some like dumb way? I'll be disappointed in that. Like, I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it. And also, too, you know, my biggest concern, and you know what it is, you know what my concern is. Like, I think you watch a lot of my videos. Like, my main concern is that they're gonna make Sydney like the killer, like over Sam, or maybe Sydney will be working with Stu or something like that. I hope that's not the case, because as I was saying, if she was a killer, she would have killed her kids. She would have killed Mark already, and it just wouldn't make any sense for her to all of a sudden just become the killer just out of the blue. You know, I just don't think it makes. I don't think it makes any sense. And she is the final girl too, and that's basically shitting on Wes Craven's legacy. You know, and it's shitting on the character of Sydney, shitting on Nev Campbell. Really, I mean, but you're more you're more shitting on Wes Craven's legacy because he created that character, and they decided to make her the killer. Well, to me, that's just shitting on his grave. Because he would have never did that. He never had plans to. No, you never know. Someone has to answer to make it real. Yeah. I mean, you're right, but I just don't want to see. I personally don't think they're going to kill the Sydney character off just because Nev Campbell already, she's already stated that she's not going to come back if they decide to kill her character off. So right then and there, that kind of tells me that they do decide to kill her off. The worst that they can do is make her the damn killer, which, like I was saying, I don't want to see that. I don't even know if Nev Campbell would want that. Well, who really knows? So Nev Campbell has stated that she won't come back. She will not come back if they decided to make her the killer. Well, right then and there kind of gets me thinking, maybe they won't make her the killer. Maybe they'll, or not make her the killer. They decide to kill her off. Then she wouldn't come back. She said she wouldn't come back if they decided, to end her character. So I don't think they're going to kill her off. My biggest concern is that they're going to make her the killer, though. That's the number one thing, because I don't know if Nev Campbell is down for that or not. Like, Sydney Prescott, I don't think she's dying, but Gil could be her, and it still will be his end, but we'll actually don't know. He's not returning yet. Yeah, exactly. And Stu, yeah, if he does return, this will be like his end. Like, he'll definitely get killed off. There'll be no more rumors. And the Sydney thing too, it's just like a lot of people are saying that I'm obsessed with her being the killer. I'm not. I'm just saying that that's probably the most, like, the thing that I'm worried about the most, because a lot of people, a lot of these Hollywood, these new directors and all that do stupid shit, and I don't want them to decide to make. I don't want her to be the killer. I just don't. Because, like, what's the point? So you mean to tell me that she was in the other Scream films, all of a sudden she was basically a hero, and all of a sudden now she's evil? Now she's gonna start killing? It just doesn't look good. It's not a great look to me. Like, on her character, As I was saying, I could see Sam be the killer. And Sam may be the killer, she may very well be the killer. Who really knows? And if that's the case, and they do bring Stu back, well, maybe Sam is a part of Stu's cult. I think that's going to be the plan, if that's true. You know, if that rumor is true. But I also been saying that Sydney's husband could be on it and on it. With Stu, also, it's always been a family member of the boyfriend. Exactly, and that's the thing that I kind of want to move off of them. You know, I want to do something different, and I wish they would do. Well, I guess the whole Mark Kincaid thing. It would be interesting to see him be a killer, but at the same time, I don't really view him as a killer. I view him more as just a background character, just a character that's just in the film, like in Scream 3, like how he was a cop. Like, I don't think, I mean, he could be a killer. He definitely could be a killer. Now, I guess who really knows? I mean, the Scream franchise, like you said, the Scream franchise, it's all about surprises. You know, it's all about the whodunit. It's all about surprises. You know, anybody could die. Anybody could be the killer. So, who really knows, man? But yeah, Mark Kincaid is definitely a character that I want to see back, and also Joel. You know, Joel has not came back. We haven't seen Joel since last time we seen him was Scream 2, and then the character just disappeared because he basically got out of town or whatever because all the killings. So he was pretty smart. But hopefully we see his character again come back because there needs to be more. We know that he didn't die. We know that he's still alive, so he could still come back. Same with Mark and Cade. So yeah, Joel's another person that I think could come back. Who really knows? Joe the cameraman. Yeah, he was funny. Yeah, he was. He was hilarious. Um, and his character was just smart. You know the way they made his character. It was just smart. You know the fact that he got out of town. Like a lot of people wouldn't do that. You know, a lot of people in these movies wouldn't do that. Would decide to just leave. You know, town and all that because all the killings. I mean, a lot of people just stay. They just don't give a shit. But he decided to leave, which he was smart, for that. Um, he's the only character to ever do that, to ever be smart and just leave. Yes, Gil, I got there. Yeah, yes, that's hilarious. Yeah, I would really like him to come back as a cameraman as well. Um, a lot of people are saying that maybe he is retired, though. Maybe he is retired. Who really knows? I could see him coming back as a cameraman, though. Who really knows? This movie, these movies are, like I was saying, anything can happen. He also put Gail in her place too, so give Joel that. Yeah, he did. He sure did. And he was smart too, and he left. He left. He left town. No other character has done that. He was the only one that was basically smart enough to leave. Maybe a cameraman for a different company. Yeah, maybe. I was thinking maybe he could be like a cameraman in like Gail's show or something. Maybe he could be like a cameraman at like maybe Gail have her, has her TV show. I was thinking maybe he could be like a cameraman on her show. And I was also talking about too is that I think that I think that Joel is related. I think that he could be the father of Chad and Mindy. That's what I think. Who really knows? But I think that could be a possibility. That he could be like their father, you know? He told Gail, I didn't sign up for this. I know. He was smart though. He seen what happened to Kenny the cameraman. So he just dipped. He just dipped and got out of town, and he was the only character that ever that was ever that smart enough to leave. Where the Ghostface killings were happening, he decided to leave, and he was smart for that, because he saw what happened to the last cameraman. Joe being the dad for Chad and Mindy be interesting. Yeah, I definitely think that it could be a possibility. That could be something that they could do. Oh yeah, Ghostface would have killed Joel for sure. That's why he decided to leave, because he didn't want to be a part of it. Because if that was the case, if he would have stayed, the killer would have the killer would have ended him. That would have been it. Would have been another cameraman that died. But he saw what happened to the last cameraman and decided to leave. Definitely smart. And the actor, I think his name is Duane Martin, I believe his name is, the real actor. He said that he wants to come back. He said that he would love to come back to reprise his role. So if he's saying that he's willing to come back, I'm pretty sure could be a possibility that these new directors could be, talking to him, because he was saying that he wants to come back. So Gail almost died in 6. We gotta know that was Stu. Oh yeah, we gotta know if that was Stu. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Because if they are going with that, they're going with that Stu, killed Dewey. And that Stu attacked Tara in the opening scene. Stu attacked Gail in Scream 6 in the apartment. Well, they gotta be, we gotta find out. We gotta find out. They have to basically tell us, show us who that was, because I don't believe, as I was saying, I don't believe that it was Amber that killed Dewey, like at all. Like I just don't believe that a girl that's 5'9" gonna be able to manhandle a grown ass man like that. Like, so I just don't believe that. It was definitely a man, 100%. Like I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not. I mean, come on, a girl's not gonna. Nothing against girls, but a girl's not gonna be able to manhandle a man like that. So I definitely don't think it was Amber. I don't think it was. Obviously, it wasn't Richie, because Dewey was trying to save Richie. Got him in the elevator. So yeah, I mean that's the question you got to ask. Like, who was it? And that's why I think that we should get why Scream 7 makes sense. Because you're basically, telling us who, you're basically revealing who that was. And if it was Stu, because I definitely don't think it was Amber. So they definitely got to explore it, in Scream 7. People still saying that was Amber that killed Dewey, because not many people is on the street train. I don't think it was Amber either. No, I don't either. And yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't on the street train. A lot of people think that Stu is dead. Don't think that he's alive. But no, I don't believe that was Amber at all. I don't believe for a second that was. I mean, even if it was Liv, I still wouldn't believe that either. Because Liv is a girl too, and she wouldn't be able to manhandle Dewey. So I mean, you gotta ask yourself, like, who was that? Same with the opening scene. I mean, Richie was literally on vacation, right? He was on vacation, and Amber was in her house doing her hair. So if Richie was on vacation and Amber was doing at her house, she wasn't even at Tara's house. She wasn't even near Tara's house. Well, it was definitely somebody else. It just doesn't make any sense. The fact that Richie was on vacation. Richie was on vacation, right? In the opening scene. He even said that. And Amber was at her house, whatever, because the killer shows, Amber doing her hair or whatever, and because she wasn't even near Tara's house. So You got to ask yourself who that was. It was definitely somebody else, man. I'm just not buying that it was Amber or Richie. Like, Richie was somewhere else during Dewey's death. No, actually, Richie was the one that was getting attacked by the killer, and then Dewey, because nobody was at the hospital, Tara, so Sam ended up taking off, and Dewey went with her to the hospital, and Richie was there, and Richie got attacked by the killer, and then Dewey came in, and he tried to save, obviously, Richie, Sam, and Tara. So he was trying to save them. He got him in the elevator and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just talking. I'm talking about the opening scene when Richie was saying that he was on vacation when Tara was attacked in the opening scene. So that's the part I'm talking about. But yeah, no, Richie was the one. Dewey was trying to save Richie in the hospital. Yeah, it wasn't Richie because Dewey was saving Richie. He was trying to save him. And even if it was Liv, I wouldn't even buy that either because a lot of people were saying that Liv, was a part of one of the killers, like one of the secret killers. But even if that was the case, I still don't buy that, because she's a girl too. And again, nothing against girls. I just don't think a girl is going to be able to manhandle a grown ass man like that. But we've seen unrealistic shit in movies, I guess, right? In Scream 2, Miss Loomis killed Randy, so somehow she was able to manhandle a man. But that was a little different, I guess, because in this instance, the killer is like literally like lifting Dewey up off his feet. Like he's like on his tippy toes. So yeah, no, Richie was in the hospital. He was Dewey was actually trying to save him. Because remember when he showed up? He showed up in the hospital. He went into Tara's room and he came in and the killer attacked him. And then obviously Dewey and Sam ended up coming. And Dewey tried to save him. So yeah, it wasn't Richie. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not saying it's Stu, but I have a feeling that there's a possibility. And even if it wasn't Stu, it probably would be somebody like maybe, well, Leslie Mocker wouldn't make sense either because she's a girl too. Still don't think Miss Loomis killed Randy. I don't buy it. It was secretly Stu. Dude, that's a really interesting point. Because yeah, Miss Loomis was all saying that she was the one that killed Dewey or killed Randy. but really, I don't think that she's able to manhandle a man like that, you know. So it could have been Stu secretly, and she could have been lying, you know, about it and said that she did it just because. So I mean, that's a possibility. A lot of people are even saying that Stu was even in Scream 4, you know, and even Scream 3. But I think Scream 3, I think Angelina was involved, you know, a lot of, you know, I think she was in, I don't know if she was dressed up as a killer. I just know that she was a part of it. Like she was working with Roman. But a lot of people were saying that Stu was involved in that film as well, Scream 3 and 4. It even too, like you just said, like I didn't even think about that. Maybe Stu was the one that secretly killed Randy. Who really knows? Because I don't really buy. Honestly, dude, I just don't buy that Miss Loomis. I mean, I just don't buy Miss Loomis killing him. It doesn't make any sense for her to basically manhandle a man. It's kind of unrealistic. Because in an interview, Stu himself said Wes Craven was going to have him come back in Scream 3. Yep, he did. That was the original plan. They were going to bring Stu back, and he was going to come back as a killer, obviously. And they ended up canceling it because of the Combine shooting. So a lot of people who hate Stu out there, you know, people that, you know, the people that are not on the Stu train always say, well, Wes Craven didn't like the idea. You know, it wasn't because he didn't like that idea. It was because of the Combine shooting. I mean, that was the real reason. Because Wes Craven would have never planned to bring him back if he was dead. You never plan to bring a character back if they're dead, you know? Because he's not dead. To me, I mean, why would you bring back a dead character? Like, for no reason, you know? It just wouldn't, it just doesn't, like, so, like, so if he was truly dead and he was, you know, I don't think Wes Craven would even have planned, you know, to bring him back. He wouldn't have had, you know, plans. You should check out a movie called The Curb. It has Matthew Lillard in it. It was a good movie. I'm definitely gonna have to watch it for sure. Definitely. But yeah, as I was saying, even if that was like the case, if Wes Craven had planned, to bring him back. Well, that kind of goes to show that his character is not truly dead. That was his intentions. That's that's just my opinion. And yeah, I definitely think that he was a part of Scream 4 as well. I think he was the one that he was the one, I believe, that attacked Jill and Sydney in that one scene after the Olivia death, I believe it was. Angelina returning would be interesting because we haven't seen her since Scream 3. Exactly, man. And I don't believe that she's dead. I don't believe that she's dead. I've always believed that she somehow escaped because she wasn't on the official kill list, and they didn't even show her death. They only showed her body. We only saw her body get dragged away, and we didn't get to see much. We didn't get to see her actually get killed. So that's why I believe personally that she could have survived. She could have gotten away. Could be still alive somewhere. Could definitely, come back. And maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe Stu, maybe Stu, maybe Charlie, Jill, Angelina. Maybe all three of them are a part of this cult or something. That would be that would be epic. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Just have all the dead characters that you thought were dead, just bring them back, and they're all just in the cult, with Stu's cult, working with them. Yeah, I think that Angelina faked her death, honestly. And the reason why I think she faked her death is because it's Hollywood. And Roman was a director. So if Roman was a director, well, he could help her fake her own death too. Help her get away because he's a director, so he knows how to do all that type of shit. So, and also, like you said, um, oh no, that was Roman. That was Roman in the coffin. Roman was the one that faked his death. Roman faked his death, and obviously later he was revealed as the killer at the end. But yeah, no, it was Roman that faked his death. Because yeah, that Roman was the one in the coffin. He had the yeah, he faked his own death, obviously, and yeah, no. Um, a lot of people were saying that who could that have been? Maybe Angelina could have helped him did that too, do that too. So maybe Angelina helped him do that, and then Roman helped Angelina do what she had to do because maybe Roman felt like he was, obviously he was gonna, live and or win. So I mean, who really knows? But I definitely think that's a possibility. Ghostface got Jennifer McCarthy in Scream 3. Oh yeah, a lot of people don't think so. A lot of people, because I guess the actor had said that she wants to come. She was saying she wants to come back, and she only realistically got stabbed once. So I mean, she could come back too. But yeah, the whole Angelina thing is just like, yeah, well, you're thinking of Roman. Roman was the one that was in the coffin. He was the one that he faked his own death. Whenever he acted like he got stabbed. You got to remember he was a director, so he knew how to do all that type of shit. He knew how to do special effects, all that stuff. So So that's why I think it makes sense that Angelina, could be alive too. That she could have faked her own death because Roman could have helped her. That maybe he didn't really, need her no more after a while. He basically wanted to deal with Sydney by himself. He didn't want a partner or anything to help him. So that's just what I think. But she's from the original MTV dating show. She's a host on Mass Singer. She gets killed in Scream 3. Jennifer McCarthy. You're talking about Jennifer McCarthy. 1 minute. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Jennifer McCarthy. Oh yeah, the girl that played Sarah Darling. Yes. I know who you're talking about. Yes. Talk about the girl that was playing Jennifer in the staff film, I believe. Or, or am I wrong? I don't remember. Remember, she goes to Roman's office and breaks his award. Yes, she breaks his award or whatever, and Roman, um, what did he say? What was that line that he said? Yeah, I remember. I remember though. He had that award, and she like broke it. And right then and there, when he had that award, we we kind of knew that he was, the killer, somewhat. He said, "You think this wasn't a message?" held out the trophy, the award, and had that tape around the head. Right there, right then and there in that scene, you kind of knew that he was one of the killer. But then again, it kind of confuses you though. Like, so it kind of shows that he's the killer, but then later in the movie, it kind of like he fakes his own death. Obviously, he's in that coffin. Then you don't think that it's him. You think it's somebody else. But no, it really is him at the end. Like, so. Yeah, he said, "You think this wasn't a message?" He said Roman was telling the Qatar, "Could someone do a horrible thing that was a big joke?" Yeah, yeah. Oh man. And to be honest with you, man, like I don't know what Scream movie you watched first, but you probably watched the first one, 1996. But I I didn't really tell you, but I made a lot of videos. Um, so the first Scream film that I've ever watched is actually Scream 3. That was the first one I've ever watched before I've even watched the other ones. So I never had watched, part two or part one, at first. I watched only part three, but that was the first one I watched. So Scream 3 was realistically that was the one that got me into the Scream franchise. You would think that I would think, watch the original, but Scream 3 was the first one I watched, that got me into the Scream films. Because back in the day when I was like younger, I don't know if you remember, but remember they had those box sets, those Scream box sets. It was like it had like it was like tapes or whatever. It was before like CDs. Well, I remember I remember I think I borrowed it from a friend or something like that. And yeah, that's how I really got into the franchise. Because I didn't really know about the Scream franchise at first until, I borrowed that from a friend, and then it got me into it. I started watching in Scream 3 first. Scream 3 was the first one I watched, and yeah, that's basically how I got into the franchise. And 1086 was the movie that got me into this franchise. Yeah, a lot of people, but for me, Scream 3 was the first one, because that was the first one I watched. Because okay, that was the first one I watched. I didn't watch like Scream 2 or Scream 1996 like until like years later. So that's kind of weird. You would expect me to watch the first one first before Scream 3, but no, I watched Scream I watched Scream 3 first, which is crazy. That got me into it, you know. So so that's basically how I got into the Scream franchise, and then obviously I went back and watched Scream 2 and Scream 1996 later, and then I just came even more. I just loved it even more. Like, and I've liked this franchise ever since 1996 until Scream 5 came out. Ruined my love for the Scream, the Scream 6 came out. For Scream again. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think Scream 4 was the last like great one, you know. And I say that because the chase scenes, all that, the creativeness, just the overall creativeness, in that film was just absolutely just. It was great. One of those, that's what the Ghostface character is. You know, he's basically about the chase scenes and the phone calls, and that's something that we didn't get in Scream 5. And I was, upset that we didn't get that in Scream 5. I mean, we got the phone calls, but we didn't get the chase scenes. What the character. That's what the character is. And Russell, I don't remember. I don't know if you remember, but I thought that one scene was funny in Scream 3 when Mark Kincaid was he basically got karate kicked. That shit was funny. And Ghostface just kicked him in the face and just knocked him out. He did that. That Conor McGregor. Ghostface can be anyone. That's why I love it. Exactly. And that's the thing that I like about it. That's why it's my favorite franchise personally. Over Halloween, over Friday the 13th. I like those franchises. But the realism in Scream, the whodunit factor, just the humanly elements into it, and in it, is the reason why I like it, why it's my favorite, because it's more real. It's not like Halloween, where you basically know who the killer is, because it's Michael. Um, it's Michael. So right then and there, it's kind of like you already know who the killer is. Friday the 13th, you already know who the killer is. But Scream, it's just like you don't know who it is. It could be anybody. It could, if we get new killers in every film. So that's the reason why I like it, why it's my favorite. It's more humanly, just more humanly. Ghostface karate kick Sidney Salzman Scream through. Yeah, I was laughing when I saw he karate kicked him, man. Like he did that kind of McGregor UFC knockout, and then that Dewey, when Dewey got punched too, that shit was funny. I was laughing when Dewey got knocked out by Ghostface with that right hand, that right hook. I was laughing about that. Man, Dewey always be getting messed up, man. Like in every film, He always be getting like falling downstairs, getting knocked out by Ghostface, getting knocked out with pans. Well, nobody knew Miss Voorhees was the killer on Friday the 13th. Original Randy explained that. Oh yeah, and nobody knew that she was the killer because she was supposed to be the original before they created the Jason character. She was supposed to be like the original killer before Jason was even like invented or before they even came up with the character Jason. Um, but yeah, that's a very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, she was supposed to be like the main killer on the Friday the 13th. It wasn't gonna be Jason. I heard. Hey Russell, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna take a little break here. I'm gonna come right back. Just hang tight. I'm gonna go to the bathroom if you don't mind, real fast. I'm gonna be right back here. All right. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom quick and take a little short break here. I'll be right back. Oh, my bad. Sorry, man. Um, sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. I was like, oh man, I just muted myself. Um, yeah, did you know that Drew Barrymore was gonna be the final girl? She was gonna be like the original. She was supposed to be like Sydney Prescott. And she was supposed to be like the actual Sydney Prescott, like she was supposed to be. A lot of people were, when I wasn't around obviously when Screen 1996 came out, but a lot of people were confused, because the poster had her on there. A lot of people thought she was going to be the final girl. Then all of a sudden, she just gets killed in the opening scene. Like, the people get confused. Well, that's because she was originally supposed to be the original. She was supposed to be Sydney Prescott. She was supposed to play the role, uh, but they switched it last minute, and I guess Drew Barrymore didn't want to be the final girl in the film in the franchise, so she decided, to she wanted to get killed off in the opening scene instead. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I did. They switched last minute for screen. Yep, yep. That's very interesting that she was supposed to be like Sydney Prescott. Man, Nev Campbell does such a great job. I would have loved Drew Barrymore to do it, but I think Nev Campbell really fits, you know, the role. She just fits it. But nothing against Drew Barrymore. I would have loved her to be Sydney too. I mean, that would have been cool. But yeah, it's very interesting. I think the Scream franchise was actually, I think it was based on the Gainesville Ripper, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was based on the Gainesville Ripper, and I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure it was somewhat inspired. Yep, the Gainesville Ripper. So while the mass murderers who terrorize the unlucky characters in the Scream franchise are fictional, there's another, even more disturbing layer to the story that has roots in reality. Scream was impaired by a rash of real life murders committed by a serial killer in Gainesville, Florida. So yeah, it was based on it's basically based on the it's inspired by the Gainesville Ripper. It's not like they just came up with their own like concept, you know, with the mask and the who done it. Um Drew Barrymore has done a lot, so it was cool to see her in that. Yes, it was. It was really cool to see her. Definitely. And yeah, a lot of people, and she was the biggest like celebrity out there, well, the biggest actress like at that time. They heard a lot of rumors about. I heard a lot of rumors about like other actors, other big time actors, like being a part of the Scream films. But of course, there's just rumors and all that, you know. It was hilarious. She didn't know who the killer was in Friday the 13th original. And Scream 1996. Oh, I know. She didn't even know. She said it was Jason. No, she said it was Jason, but it was actually Pamela, Miss Voorhees. Yeah, that was hilarious. So she didn't even know the answer to it. But yeah, you know, a lot of people didn't really. Friday the 13th is a crazy. That's actually crazy that you know Jason wasn't going to be the main person, like the main killer. It was originally going to be you know just Pamela. Casey Becker was also the first casualty in 1996. Yep. Yep. She's in the original. Yeah, I mean, Scream 1996 is just. A lot of people were saying that in Scream 2, that the writing was smarter. But honestly, I can't really say that because Scream 1996 to me will always be the best, you know? So I can't sit here and say that. I mean, I can't sit here and say that that Scream 1996 or that Scream 2 is better than Scream 1996 because 96 is always going to be the best. In my opinion, it's always going to be number one. Scream 2 is a good film, but a lot of people feel like it was just a lot of people just feel like it was better like writing. And maybe it was. Maybe it was like smarter writing, maybe, but to me, I don't really like I think the first like Screen 1996 is always gonna be the best, of course. But I also like Scream 2 as well. Scream 2 is actually I didn't know I don't know if you knew this, But Scream 2 is actually the longest Scream film in the franchise. So I didn't know if you knew that or not, but Scream 2 is the longest in the franchise, like the longest running Scream film. Did you know Wes Craven almost sued Scary Movie because it was making fun of his brother? Oh yeah, I think he told me that. Yeah, I've talked about Scary Movie a lot. How I don't like it. It's kind of fishy, you know. I understand it's a parody and all, and it's a parody. That's basically the point of a parody. But at the same time, it wasn't funny to me. I didn't like it. The mask was ugly. And yeah, the mask is meant to be ugly, I guess, because it is a parody, but the mask looks retarded to me. I just don't like the mask. It looks absolutely just ugly. A lot of people just always seem to say that, oh well, the scary movie is better than the actual Scream films. Like I can't not be down with that. I can't be down with that. I'm sorry. Like I just can't be down with that. Like the scary movie is just a parody. It's literally just a parody. You know, and the Scream films mean a lot more. You know, because it's not a parody. Yeah, they didn't get permission to do it because it was making fun of Screen 1996. Wes Craven almost sued them. It's a great fact. Yeah, I don't blame him for that because if they didn't get permission to do it from the get go, well, they had really no room to make fun of Scream. They had no room to make fun of it. Like, unless they had permission by Wes Craven to do it. But so yeah, I don't blame Wes Craven for that. I would have sued him too. Wes Craven made the Scream films. You know, for somebody to come out and just make a parody and not get permission, that's absolutely just dirty to me. And you know what's crazy too is that a lot of people were saying that Scream, uh, that Scream, or as I was gonna say, sorry, it's crazy that a lot of people were saying that the Scary Movie mask reminds them too much of, or people were saying that the Ghostface mask reminds them too much of the Scary Movie mask. Well, that's probably because they watched Scary Movie before they watched the actual films, the actual Scream films. So a lot of people always say, well, the Scary Movie mask or the Ghostface Scream mask reminds you of the Scary Movie mask. That's because they probably watched Scary Movie first before they watched, the Scream films. So people have their own opinion at the end of the day, but there's a lot of people out there, like I was saying, that like Scary Movie more than the actual Scream films. And I can't be down with that. Like, can't be down with that. the actual Scream films mean a lot more, to me. It's more like real. Creating something scary explains it on his channel. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to go watch his video. Is it a video or just did he explain it on the live stream? Yeah, 2000 was a scary movie and Scream came out before. Exactly. That's what I keep on telling people. And people keep on saying, well, the Scream Master reminds you of a scary movie. The Ghostface Master reminds you of a scary movie. Like that's all. That's what people will say. What people will say. Like for some reason, I don't understand that. It's like that's because you probably watched Scary Movie first. They probably watched Scary Movie before they watched Scream. So that's why they think it looks too much like the Scary Movie mask. You know, it was on one of his videos. Wasn't live. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out for sure. I need to make more videos too. I just been doing live streams, which is good, for views and all that and subscribers. But it's always good to also make videos too. So I'm gonna probably make more videos for sure. But yeah, a lot of people just don't have that much logic. You know, they just say, "Oh well, scary movie's better than Scream." You know, it's like I just want to puff. It makes me wonder, like, what do they smoke? You know, because I want to puff some of that too. They really think Scary Movie is better than Scream. You know, there's a lot of people out there that I've interacted with somebody that actually likes. I don't know if you know who Blucka is, but Blucka was saying that Scary Movie was better than Scream and all that, and all this nonsense. You know, at the end of the day, people got their own opinions, but me, I just can't get down with that because Scream. If it wasn't for Scream, there would be no scary. They wouldn't even created a Scary Movie film. They would have never did a parody. So I just thought it was funny that Wes Craven also sued Scary Movie. It's hilarious. Would have caused. Wish he would have called it trap or called it trap. There. I thought it was funny that Wes Craven almost sued Scary Movie. It's hilarious. Wish he would have called it was trash. Oh yeah, he should have. I would have sued him too. Absolutely, they would have. Wes Craven is he made Scream, and for somebody to go out there and make a parody about his film that he created, basically not get permission, to make it, that right there is just dirty. And if I were him, I would have sued him too. He should have. Shit, if it was me, I would have. I wouldn't have cared. I would have just did it. You know? Yeah, because to me, scary movies not even that funny to me. Like, it's really not that funny. You know, scary movies absolutely just trash. All it is just a parody. Some wannabe, Ghostface. Some wannabe like Dewey, wannabe Sydney. Like, that's all it really is. And on top of that, the mask looks like it got cooked in like an oven or something and like melted. Like it looks so damn ugly. Like I can't stand Scary Movie. I find Scary Movie 2 funnier than Scary Movie 1. If they would have did their own thing and not make fun of Scream, I wouldn't have been mad. Exactly. They would have just did their own thing. But that's the problem. They made fun of Wes Craven's Scream film. They could have done something else. They could have done something different. They didn't have to make fun of Scream at all. But no, that's what they decided to do. It's not funny. This movie's not funny. Scary Movie's not funny to me. I'd much rather go watch Scary Movie 2 because at least Scary Movie 2 is funny. You know? Scary Movie 1 isn't funny. I hate that movie. They'll never top the Scream films. It's just a parody. It's just a parody, man. You know? A lot of people out there just, like I said, Blanca was even saying that he was the one that was telling me that he thinks that Scary Movie is better than Scream and all that. And I'm just like thinking like, okay, you have your opinion at the end of the day, but I don't think like that. Like I always go with Scream. But they still made fun of Scream 2 and Scary Movie 2. Did they? I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Because I knew they made fun of The Exorcist. Yeah, I knew they made fun of The Exorcist, but I didn't know they made fun of Scream 2. Oh, are you talking about? You're talking about Scary Movie 1. You're talking about the first Scary Movie when they're in the movie theater, I believe. When the killer is basically in the movie theater, like eating popcorn or whatever. Yeah, you're talking about the first Scary Movie. Yeah, because he was in the movie theater or whatever. Yeah, that was like making fun of the Scream 2 opening scene. So yeah, that's what you're talking about. So you're talking about the movie theater scene in Scary Movie 1 where he was in there and he was eating popcorn or whatever, and yeah, they were making fun of Scary Movie 2 in that scene. Yeah, because Scary Movie, or they're making fun of Scream 2 in that scene, but Scary Movie 2 was um Scary Movie 2 made fun of the Exorcist. That's all I know of. Dewey and Gail Weathers had great chemistry. Yeah, they did. And it kind of just got ruined by radio silence, you know? Decided to just kill him off. It just sucks. I wish we could go back in time, you know, when if Wes Craven was still here, just imagine how much more Scream films we would have gotten. I just can't imagine. We probably would have at least got like at least two more Scream films at most. You know, Gail Weathers didn't seem too upset when Dewey was killed. Did you notice that? Um, I know that Sydney didn't seem too upset. And Gail was kind of crying. She was crying, but Sydney was the one that wasn't crying at all. Like she didn't even show any emotion, which that was absolutely just dirty by radio silence to do that. Like Sidney Prescott is gonna cry, believe me. If it was Wes Craven's film, Sidney Prescott would have cried. She wouldn't have just stood there and just act like nothing happened. Like, so yeah, I kind of found that a little dumb. You know that she was basically just standing there. She didn't even show any emotion. Like the radio silence really made a mistake. Because if that was Wes Craven's film, like I was saying, if that was Wes Craven's film, they would have. If that was Wes Craven's film, they would have. Sydney would have been crying, you know. But no, you're thinking about Sydney. Sydney was the one that wasn't crying. Gail was crying. But yeah, that was dirty. Maybe Gail wasn't really crying though. Maybe she just kind of. But I know Sydney wasn't, which was crazy. That Sydney Prescott, she's come on, man, she's gonna cry. She's gonna cry about. She's gonna cry about losing Dewey, her best friend. If it was Wes Craven's film, she would have been crying. So yeah, that was a little weird. That didn't even add that. Like, it's kind of unrealistic. But alrighty, man. I'm gonna head off for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Um, Thank you for popping in for tonight. I am gonna get off here and try to get some rest, try to relax. But it was fun, talking to you for a few hours. It was a lot of fun. Uh, Definitely try to be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to make this an everyday thing. I'm gonna try anyway. That as long as I'm not busy. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to make this an everyday thing. I'm gonna try to make this an everyday thing, and definitely look out for more videos as well. I'm gonna be making more videos soon. So, um, with that being said, though, man, thank you for popping in. Everybody, those of you who didn't get to see the stream tonight, be sure to hit the replay button and yeah, be sure to hit the replay button and hit the like button for me. That would be much appreciated. But until then, y'all, Russell, thank you for popping in. Hope you have a great night. I hope you get good sleep. And I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. So, all right, everyone, good night.